All right, Hollow Knight Silksong just did the unthinkable, and AAA studios need to pay attention. Charge only $20 for one of the most anticipated games of the year, heck, for the last maybe 8 years. And then when people go to download it on day one, you crash servers across every major platform, from Xbox to Nintendo's eShop to Steam. This is unprecedented. So look, and also something else that's unprecedented is the Eagles on the opening night of the NFL are in a weather delay. Like when does the NFL have a weather delay? So I thought, you know what? I'm gonna seize the moment. This is a perfect opportunity. I'm gonna run downstairs and I'm gonna film a video while they're in a weather delay. So a couple of unprecedented things today to talk about. So look, God only knows. I already have way too many games to play right now. My backlog looks like the Library of Congress, and I'm still only 25 hours into the original Hollow Knight that I just started last week. So that alone should disqualify me from starting anything else, and yet here I am. I am a certified masochist, really kind of juggling not just Hollow Knight, but also two other shiny new remasters at the same time. Gears of War Reloaded, Metal Gear Solid, Snake Eater Delta. Why am I doing this to myself? Because apparently I hate myself. But let's just put the idiocy aside for a second and talk about the game the entire planet has been trying to download, the entire planet has been waiting for the last 8 years to play, and that is Hollow Knight Silksong. Now, when this game finally dropped this morning, I had to play it on day one. Come on. Not because I'm some kind of a completionist or a professional critic or anything like that. No, I had to play it just to see how fast it would consume my life and if it would grab me, or hey, I wouldn't be interested in it at all. And guess what? Holy smokes, it totally sucked me in. And here's the thing. When I first played the original Hollow Knight, when I first started that about a week ago, it didn't grab me right away. I talked about that in my video. Like the first hour didn't grab me at all. I was like, Don't get me wrong, the game is incredible, but it took some time for me to kind of warm up to the rhythm and really kind of click with it. Silksong, though, totally different story. I mean, right from the opening crash landing with Hornets sewing needles statting right into the ground next to me, I was totally hooked. Team Cherry wastes absolutely no time, no tutorial, no hand-holding, just here you go, figure it out. And honestly, that's what makes this series of games so magical. You're immediately sort of thrust into this moss-covered world that feels alive in a way that's kind of hard to describe. I mean, things are happening in the foreground, like these lantern bugs are kind of flying in the foreground. You're in the middle, then things are also happening in the background. The vines dangling in the background, the mossy platforms that bounce underneath your feet. It's really great when you kind of step on it, kind of squishing into it. It's really nice. These visual details that feel like someone hand-painted almost every single frame because, well, they kind of did that. The hand-drawn art here, the style is just, it's as jaw-dropping as ever. It's just visually stunning to look at. And I just found myself sort of staring at Hornet's bouncing legs in the fluid motion as you're making your way across the screen. Really great stuff, just the movement of the body. What really pulled me in right away were the mechanics. In Hollow Knight, your jump height is pretty modest. It works for that game, but it felt like a little restrained at the beginning. Like, oh man, I gotta really work up until I can get a higher jump feature. It's frustrating that you can't jump to a higher platform. Silksong, though, gives you just enough of an extra boost to feel more agile. You can grab that cliff and kind of jump up, hurl yourself up. And then add in the ability to swing Hornet's needle like diagonally down and strike enemies from a diagonal. And suddenly you feel like an acrobat, bouncing and kind of zipping around enemies. You just feel, I don't know, right out of the gate you feel like more fluid. Kind of unlike Hollow Knight with a more like sort of impotent character, if I don't mind saying so. But do I suck at it right now? Oh yeah, absolutely. Like this diagonal, attempt, my attempts at like hitting precise diagonal strikes looks more like a toddler swinging a wiffle ball bat. And that's how I kind of feel right now. But when I have landed some of these attacks, it feels great. Attacking an enemy from across the screen is pretty awesome. And that little tweak in movement makes the whole game feel immediately faster, more fluid than Hollow Knight. And oh, by the way, I thought for sure that when I fell into the water, I would be dead, right? That's like Hollow Knight. You're gonna hit the water, you're done. But boy, was I surprised when I fell in and suddenly I was able to start paddling around in the lily pads And I got also like the nice rumble motion too, feeling of like paddling in the water. It was like some nice haptic feedback, and I was playing it on Xbox. So it felt great. Interesting, right? Thought I was gonna die. Let's talk about the mood for a second. The first area in Silksong has this like thick, mossy vibe to it, vines hanging everywhere. You can kind of slash your way through some of them with your needle just because, and then others you can't. The moss itself isn't just decoration, it kind of bounces under your foot like a little trampoline from time to time. And like I said, that detail just like really made me smile. It really did, I love that. Because as a kid growing up in Pennsylvania, you know, you go in the forest and you would step on moss and you would kind of bounce, you know, kind of bounce on these rocks. Now, don't worry, I'm not going to spoil anything major. I'm only going to show you at least like some footage from the first 30 minutes of gameplay here and up to the very first boss fight. That's it. This is a game that I think totally deserves to be experienced blindly, and I wouldn't ruin it for anybody, especially fellow masochists like me who insist on playing a half dozen games at one time, it seems like. Normally, I don't do that. I don't know what's going on with me this summer. I don't know. One more thing, though, worth mentioning, launch day. So today was kind of hilarious because Silksong, I mean, people reports all around the world of people cannot download this game. It just basically broke the internet today. Steam servers were on fire. Nintendo eShop was struggling. People couldn't download it on Nintendo. Nintendo servers? People were reporting the inability to download the game around the world. Seems like everyone on Earth was like mashing refresh trying to download this game. I know people then were using their mobile phone to go in and actually log in on their mobile phone to buy the game so that it would show up in their library, then they could download it that way. So eShops were kind of crushed. I ended up grabbing it on Game Pass for Xbox, mainly because I know I want the physical copy on Switch 2 when it eventually comes out. It's only 8 gigabytes, so hopefully they'll release it on full game on cartridge. That seems to be the word on the street. And I am not going to buy this game twice. I have enough games. The file size is only 8 gigabytes, but it took more than 20 minutes to download the darn thing. And I'm on a wired Ethernet connection with 1,000 megabytes download speed. So it was just being hammered. Xbox servers being hammered, Game Pass servers being hammered, all of it. But then again, this is Silksong, so I get it. People have been waiting for this game since, you know, before some kids in middle school were even born, if you can imagine that. And I have to give a big shout out to the art style again. That's one of my big takeaways here. We're used to hearing hand-drawn kind of tossed around like a marketing buzzword, but in Silksong, you can actually feel it like in every frame. Like you can picture someone there hand animating this stuff. Every animation, every single background detail just feels handcrafted. That first boss fight alone had me pausing just to kind of stare at the way the attacks were animated. It's that good. And I almost beat that boss on my first try, but in the end I failed. And the Eagles game was just starting, so I hit pause for a little while, and I'm gonna come back to it, of course. So here I am, 25 hours into Hollow Knight, bouncing between 2 remasters right now that are also demanding my soul. I'm fully in love with Gears of War Reloaded. Oh my God, loving that game. And now I'm fully sucked into Silksong. Am I insane? Probably. I have a problem. I'm willing to admit it. Hi, I'm Clayton, and I have a gaming problem. Probably I only have myself to blame, though. But you know what? That's gaming in 2025. And I was just telling my friend today, actually, how I thought that 2025 was supposed to be like a terrible year for games. Remember, we were all sort of saying that because the calendar looked like it was going to be a pretty lackluster year. And I was like, oh, great. 2025 is going to be the year when I tackle my backlog. And then suddenly this year is bigger than 2024. I feel like there are way more games this year that I'm interested in playing than even in 2024. And I thought this year was supposed to be a turd. So when a game like Silksong finally drops, you cannot not play it. I had to jump into it. I may be a masochist, but at least I'm a happy masochist, right? So anyway, these are just my quick thoughts. But I will, to sum it up here, Silksong did what Hollow Knight didn't. It grabbed me like right from the start. The movement feels better, the world feels alive, and the servers practically imploded under the weight of everyone trying to play it, everyone trying to download it and buy it at the same time. So I'm thrilled for Team Cherry. I mean, that means I hope that means massive profits for this team, that it took them 8 years to build this game, this like 3-person little team. Good for you guys. Good for you guys. But man, AAA, these big game studios, I think need to be panicking. A $20 game with a 3-person studio, servers crashing around the world. Yeah, something's gonna give. I think this is a pretty big moment. This is a very big moment. I'm gonna mark this on the calendar. This is a huge moment for gaming. So guys, let me know if you're gonna play this game. Are you gonna buy this game? Let me know, are you gonna buy the physical copy? Are you gonna play it on Game Pass? Where are you playing this game? Let me know in your thoughts down below. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. I really appreciate that. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go see if this Eagles game is back on, and I'm gonna jump back in and playing some more Silksong after that, because yes, I'm truly a masochist. So have a great night. Go Birds, go Team Cherry, and we'll see you next time, everyone.